Hello, everyone. I'm Jennifer Nguyễn, and I'm here with Mr. Rex, City Manager from the City of Garland. As well as you may have heard, so many things about Garland is planning some major improvements, street, better road, upgrade parks, even a renovation art center, and all without tax increase. Now, let's focus on listening in to our city manager, Mr. Rex. He will give us the full story behind the 2025 bond project, so we understand what is really on the line in the 2025 Garland bond local government election, and also very important is Garland bond election. Thank you, Mr. Rex. I know that you are a very busy person, and you take the time away from your busy meeting to come out today and talk to our Asian American, Vietnamese American community. So, introduce yourself, please.
Well, thank you, Jennifer. It's great to be with you. And my name is Judd Rex. I'm city manager, and very excited to be able to spend some time with you talking about our 2025 bond program today. And things are busy for sure, but never too busy to spend time with you on such an important topic for our community. So it's good to be with you, Jennifer.
You know, the Vietnamese and Asian American community is always behind our city on all projects, because we know that you do your homework, do all your research before you start up something. So, out of curiosity, let me ask what everyone's wondering, the community would like to know. We are talking about major upgrades all across Garland, and somehow it won't raise our taxes. That's almost impossible. To me, impossible, almost. But we want to hear from you.
Yeah, that's the biggest question is what does the 2025 bond mean to my tax bill, right?
Right.
When the city put together this bond package, we involved a group of 19 citizens that made up the bond study committee, and the guidance that the council gave to them at the time was we want to limit this to $360 million so that it doesn't have an impact on our tax rate. And so from the very beginning, looking at all the possibilities for this bond program, the Bond Study Committee and the City Council was committed to doing this without a tax rate increase. And so voters can confidently go to the polls in May knowing that this $360 million package does not include a tax rate increase, at least as it pertains to the city taxes.
So is that safe for me to say that 19 members of your bond committee members, how did they get selected to be a member of the bond? Are they coming from city level, or you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, great question. So the 19 bond study committee members are citizens. They were appointed by the city council and selected to be representative across the whole city. So each council district has 2 representatives on the bond study committee, and then the mayor appointed 3 individuals, and so that's how we got to 19.
19
but
members.
They're citizens, so they're not city staff. They're not elected. They were picked throughout the community to be representative of the community, and we feel pretty good about how that worked out.
So you have bond committee members, you have everyone from every part of life. They come in, they spend their time, they volunteer to come up with this bond.
They were not paid.
Well, we know for sure that no one will get paid.
Volunteers.
This is all volunteer. There is so important task. That's why they take the time away from their family, from their work, whatever. They come in to sit there and come up with $360 million bond project. And is that safe to say that no tax increase at all? It just surprised me.
Yeah, it is surprising. Our last bond program in 2019,
yes,
which was about $420 million.
It's a lot more.
A lot more, and it did include a tax rate increase too. And all those propositions A through F passed. along with the tax rate increase. So we know that the voters of Garland are committed to the community and investing in it. And so this package, of course, doesn't include a tax rate increase. A lot of folks ask, how can you do that? How's that possible? And it boils down to two things. One is that our tax base has grown a lot over the last 10 years. And so the value of properties in Garland that get taxed has gone up significantly to the point where we have capacity in that tax base to borrow additional money without raising the tax rate. And then the other piece is that the past bonds that we've issued, which we usually issue for 20 years, those have been paid off, and they slowly kind of roll off. The city pays them off, and so that leaves additional capacity to do a $360 million bond program without a tax rate increase. So that's how the math works.
I'm so grateful for your explanation and sharing everything that we need to know. Because, like I say at the beginning, no tax increase almost impossible, but now we do know why and how does it work. Kính thưa quý vị, là ông City Manager Rex vừa chia sẻ với chúng tôi là Bond 2025 gồm có 19 thành viên thiện nguyện từ những cư dân của thành phố Garland đã đồng ý với số 360 triệu để tân trang đường xá cũng như là tân trang công viên, và this long much needed improvement is Art Center. Grandview Art Center need a lot of help. So we are so glad to hear that. Và họ đã biết chắc rằng 360 triệu cho 2025 bond là sẽ không có tăng thuế. Đây là lời trình bày của ông City Manager, và chúng tôi nghĩ rằng quý vị nếu theo dõi chương trình này thì nhớ trong đầu óc rằng nếu mình mượn cái bond này, tức là trái phiếu mượn nợ trước để mà sửa chữa, nhưng mà làm cách nào họ trả lại thì ông ta sẽ trình bày sau, nhưng mà sẽ không có increase trong cái thuế. Những chúng ta ai cũng quan trọng lo là thuế sẽ bị lên. Okay, let's moving on. I believe that people are talking about how do they get to know about bond projects. You advertise everywhere. I even bring a copy from your
That looks familiar.
Garland Power and Light, your electric bills is in there. And then you have a copy of Vietnamese. Yeah. Everything in here explained in the Vietnamese and on website, and then also on your CD press.
CD press, yeah.
So there are so many communication already been set out. Am I correct?
Yeah, there is. We want to get word out, and again, our goal is never to persuade people to vote one way or the other, but our goal is to get information out about the 4 propositions as part of the bond package. And so you've got the whole gambit there in terms of our communications. We've done town hall meetings. We have a lot of printed media that we put out. We put out videos on social media, and had a lot of conversations like this with community members about exactly what the package is. So we want people to be informed when they go into the polls and decide the future of these 4 bond propositions.
Okay, next, let's move on to the second question that we received. Why a bond election? What exactly the 2025 Garland Bond Program and which areas of the city with the 2025 bond project impact?
Yeah, great questions. And it again, we kind of go back to the Bond Study Committee and what they looked at. And there really was kind of 2 focus areas. One was on our most important asset and infrastructure, which is streets. We hear the most from residents about the quality and the condition of our streets. And so very first proposition that voters will have the opportunity to weigh in on is Proposition A, which is $230 million for streets and alleys, making improvements to our street and alley system. We have over 2,600 miles of streets. That's a lot. That'll get you all the way.
2,600 miles?
That's a lot of pavement to manage. And so we want to do our best. It takes a lot of investment to keep our street system, our road system maintained. And so Proposition A is all about streets. And specifically, when we look at the condition of our streets across those 2,600 miles, where we have the most work to do is on the residential streets and alleys. So when we looked at our whole system, and rated everything on a scale of 0 to 100. Every square inch of street and alley got looked at. And the ones that came up worst were residential streets. So this, for most people, the street in front of their house, and then the alley behind their house.
Right.
And that's where we have the most improvement to do. And so the $230 million for Proposition A, that's exactly where that money's going to go, is into the street in front of your house and the alley behind your house.
Even though we saw it in this instruction, it's online and printed copy and community conversation, but this is very important for you to re-emphasize that we take care of the street and your alley. So the $230 million, money well spent. We all need that, no problem. I don't think so. So what is next?
So what's next? So aside from streets, that was kind of top priority. Secondary to that is economic development, and that's really what the next three propositions are about. So, I always take the case that the city of Garland and Garland as a community has not gotten its fair share of quality growth and development in the past. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but one of the biggest reasons is that we need to attract the kind of retailers, restaurants, businesses, employers, and manufacturers to Garland that are going to help our economy grow. And that's the whole bond program is called Grow Garland. And that's not about growing traffic or growing density or growing those things. This is about growing our economy.
Is that the same thing, Garland Forward?
Yeah, Garland Forward, and in 2019 it was Build Garland.
Yes.
We wanted to build Garland. We wanted to improve our rec centers and parks and facilities. And so this one is all about growing Garland, growing our economy. And so, Proposition B, which is $75 million towards economic development, is about giving the city the resources to be able to go and attract the destinations, the retailers, the restaurants, the employers that are going to help grow our economy. And so it's a, very similar. There was a proposition in 2019 that was for economic development. It was $46 million. This is a bigger amount. We have a lot of work to do on the economic development front.
That is one of the main concerns. People say, why? Why $75 million? They just don't understand that we need. Why do we go to McKinney, Frisco, or Plano on weekend? Because Garland has nothing to attract us. So you need money to renovate, to make City of Garland look more attractive for investors to come in. You cannot do all that without money. So to us, that's very important as well.
Yeah.
And Art Center, Grandview Art Center is about 25. Yeah, 25 million.
Well, and Proposition C is about a very specific economic development driver in downtown, and that's the Granville Arts Center. Mm-hmm. It's over 40 years old now, and for those 40 years, this has been a prime destination for performances, cultural art exhibits, concerts, and other community events that really, it's a destination for downtown. And when you talk about going to a concert at the Granville Arts Center or a theater performance, that's happened for many, many years. And on average, we see about 75,000 people come to the Granville for those different events each year. And that's got a huge economic boost to downtown. And so we want to modernize that facility. We want to make it more accessible.
Correct.
We want to make it look better, and really just make it last another 50 years. That's what the goal of that is.
For the atrium, for an instance, if you notice, there are so many Vietnamese American events being hosted there more so ever in the last 4 years, because VN United FC, they come in. They open the door for opportunity. So now everyone would like to come into the atrium to host the event. So that's much needed amount.
Yeah, and those two really pair well together. You have the Granville Arts Center, you got the atrium where a lot of community events are hosted, and really bolstering and improving the Granville Arts Center is going to make sure it can continue to be that economic engine for downtown and host a lot of community events like you talked about. That's both spaces can be rented, and so these are facilities that are open to the public and available to the public. Proposition D is the last of the propositions on the bond program, and that's all about parks and recreation improvements, but specifically in the Harbor Point area. So Garland we're fortunate to be on a lake, and I think that's one of our greatest underutilized assets in Garland is the lakefront, Lake Ray Hubbard, what we call the Harbor Point areas where I-30 comes across from Rockwall and Rowlett. You land in Garland, and we've got all this lakefront, and what we want to do is provide parks and recreation improvements with Proposition D that would connect people with that lakefront. And so what that looks like is trails, parks, benches, all the amenities that you would see in a park system all around the Harbor Point area, so that if you're there visiting a restaurant, if you're there going to Bass Pro or one of the other businesses, or maybe you happen to live on Harbor Point, with these improvements, the parks and recreation improvements on the Harbor Point area, you've got an opportunity now to connect with that waterfront. And what we think that's going to do is generate the economic activity, the economic redevelopment, just like we did in downtown. We invested in our square downtown. Look at the great space it is now.
Look at now.
It's
Every
amazing.
time we have an event, it's so hard to find a parking space.
Yeah.
And it's so crowded. So to me, this is one of the most important that you want a facelift, right? We want a total facelift for our city. So if you happen to be out there, waterfront, if you go out there for fine dining or just walking around, if we can give them a facelift, then we will attract more business and more visitors to come in.
That's the hope. Yep.
That's the hope.
That's the
will
hope.
be. It will be. And we are counting on everyone's vote. Early voting, April 22nd, right?
Yeah,
And
next week.
And if you are not ready, please get yourself ready right now and vote yes on 4. A, B, C, D, everything on your ballot. Please vote yes. Nothing can go wrong. You put your money now, well spent for your children, for your children's future. So please go out to vote. Thank you again, and looking forward to be working alongside with you.
Yes.
Thank you for all you do for our city.
Thank you.
Thank you.